said, the most valuable asset in any organization is your human capital. And to reduce the suffering of animals in aid is you've got to have strategic planning in place. Renelle has sat with us, we had a meeting about a week ago, and she's already forward planned the whole of 2019, and she's put it into silos, and the picture is huge, and the vision is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm proud to be part of this organization. Humane education initiatives which seek to develop respect for animals through best practice solutions and educational programs. A better understanding of and access to the legal system for the protection of animals. I think this is why I've also moved into the political sphere, because I think we need to put a stamp on animal rights. Providing practical operational solutions for the management of shelters and rescue organizations. We've got to focus on governance and sustainable financial management, where there's a huge failure. Improve volunteer effectiveness through upskilling, placement, training, and ongoing support. If I look at these projects, dedicated team to me stands out. If you're going to start projects, you're going to need a dedicated team around you to actually pull the project through. And they're going to need welfare organizational skills, offer business management skills to welfare organizations, fundraising with and on behalf of other organizations. You know what I find amazing is people don't unite in animal welfare. You know, this is one of the callings that we're asking people, if you are not managing as a shelter, go in with another shelter and see if you can collaborate and work together. It's imperative because things are not the way they used to be. The economy is in such a slump. People cannot donate the way they used to. And the challenges are going to get bigger and bigger all the time. Okay, National Animal Rescue Conferences, we'll get into that a bit later. Intervention and assistance with adopted case dogs at City Pounds. That is a remarkable story, which we're going to cover in the next few slides. Local community WhatsApp animal rescue groups. How many of you are on animal rescue groups here? Okay, there's quite a few of us. How busy are they?
Busy.
Okay, so this is what we've got, and it's continuous. Pick up a dog, dog run over, dog being abused, mommy with puppies, and it just drones on and on and on. Opportunities for animal welfare organizations to network is what I said, we come together and collaborate. Development of lost and found documentation to share information of animals across animal welfare organizations as well as vets. And there you have it. Just think if there was a system in place where all this information was put into a database where anybody and everybody could access it. So it's not pockets of information here and there, which is a killer to my mind. Lotto grants. Are we even going to go there? Assistance with banning fireworks naturally. I think we definitely have to go there. Support and attend marches to create awareness of key issues. Development of leadership skills with our own organization through independence and initiative training on individuals, and support for a legislative reform. We're rooting for a good outcome on the new amended animal bylaw. I think it's going to alleviate a lot of issues. So the projects that RRSA has done to date, Friends of the Pound, National Lottery, we did training for NPOs, and there were a lot of educational workshops. Where's Willie? That's a remarkable story we're going to get to. Reject fireworks, not just 3.5 hours. The Animal Protection Act. Beauty Without Cruelty with the push to ban cosmetic testing. Animal Rescue Conference, which for me was the highlight of my year. And Young Skin, RRSA and Hillcrest Quarry presents a rock concert. Do you know how many rock fans there are in animal welfare? Okay, so we discovered there's not a rock and head and thrash metal people. So. Okay. This is something very close to my heart. I had a dog that we took him in as a rescue. The people who had him had their house sold from underneath them, and got a phone call from the rescuer saying, can you take in a dog? Beautiful husky cross German shepherd. And when we got there, my husband said, this dog's got issues. And I said, I just take it. It was very bad because I was inexperienced at the time and didn't know what a socialized dog was. So I took in an unsocialized dog. Anyway, Zach got out and bit a neighbor and his dog. And I had law enforcement at my door. And they took him to the Atlantis Pound, and we had to go through the whole system, where at the age of 8 he had to be neutered, and it was a fight to get him back, and I lost him 8 months later, and I think it was due to the stress, because he was a damaged dog. And I think this additional episode just pushed him. Anyway, hole in the heart, lost the use in his hips, and he had to be killed. I don't say euthanasia, he had to be killed. Yeah. Renelle got wind of what's happening at Atlantis Pound, and she took some information to the SPCA. They took it to the city. The city said, start Friends of the Pound. She rallied some volunteers, and they religiously every Friday went through to the pound and went in and took care of the dogs, took them out of their cages. There was nothing but a piece of wood that the dogs would lie on. No toys, no sunlight. It was cold, it was wet, there was feces, there was urine. So they were called the docket dogs. So these dogs have got a process to go through in the legal system, which can also take forever. Working with the city, law enforcement, and the council, they managed to achieve in having the Atlantis Pound closed down. And the docket case dogs are now going to be housed at the SPCA, where thankfully people there are going to be able to work with these animals, behavior issues, treatment, sicknesses, whatever, they'll be able to be seen to in a proper manner. So I would say this was quite an achievement on behalf of Rescue Rehab South Africa. There was a time when National Rotary was still paying out portions of money for animal welfare, and RRSA did a lot of training, and we're hoping actually to try and maybe put a motion together and go back to the National Lottery Council and say, come on guys, I know that your attention is turned to the poor, which is great, but there's also a great need in animal welfare. We ran some volunteer workshops. We had some very interesting presenters. Moya, who's now the CEO of the SPCA, spoke on animal cruelty, as you can see. Lucy on canine body language, Veronica now. So there are the workshops. Then we have, where's Willie? This was quite a thing. He undertook, for the sake of mass sterilization, to run from Bloberg to Namibia and back to Bloberg, in an duathlon. And he actually wrote his personal story. The personal account is something to be seen. He says that he suffered, firstly, mechanical breakdowns with the Camille During thorns going into the wheels of his bike. Then he had saddle sores. He says he was tending to his behind quite a bit. Then sunburnt, and yeah, it was what an achievement. He also said that he had to slow down when he entered into Mumray because all the primary school